How did you humble that one teacher that thought she ruled the school? Miss Hexington had a reputation before I even stepped foot in the building. My friends pulled me aside on the first day and said, whatever you do not mess with her. They said she was the kind of teacher who wanted students to genuinely fear her, failing kids for talking too loud, threatening detention for making eye contact in the hallway. I shrugged it off and kept walking. Then I got to her class. The bell rang right as I was stepping through the door. She snapped her head around like I'd just walked into a military base. Tardy pass, front office, now, or it's detention. I looked at her and walked to my seat. The whole class stared at me like I'd just tried to arm wrestle a bouncer. She gave me detention on the spot. I didn't care, but then I started watching her. A kid got up to ask a question without raising his hand. 0 on the assignment. A girl answered a problem correctly but wrote the steps in the wrong order. Referral. When she introduced herself to the class on day 1, she stood at the front and said, dead serious, I am the worst teacher you will ever have in your life. The room went completely silent. I opened my laptop and played a cricket sound effect. The class absolutely lost it. She gave me 5 more days of detention. Worth it. While I was sitting in detention, I started hearing the real stories. Kids whispering about things she'd done that nobody reported because they were too scared. One girl got moved to the front row for breathing wrong during a quiz. A transfer student came in his first day, sat in the wrong seat because nobody told him, and she spanked him with a ruler. Nobody said anything because saying something meant she made your life miserable until graduation. I walked back into class after detention ended and sat down like I'd never left. She looked directly at me and said, look who's back. I bet your grades are failing as bad as ever. I leaned back in the chair and said, just like your marriage? The room went so quiet you could hear someone's pencil hit the floor 3 rows back. She straightened up slowly and said, oh, you want to be funny today? I said, the only funny thing in here is how bad your breath smells. Kids were physically gripping their desks. One girl put her face in her hoodie. Then I said it. You want this whole school terrified of you, but they're not scared. They just don't want whatever's coming off of you to catch on to them. The class erupted. Desks shaking. Kids doubled over. Miss Hexington stood up slowly, grabbed everything off her desk in one sweep, and stormed out of the room without a single word.